It starts before you even open your eyes. It's 16:30 a.m. or maybe 700, and the moment consciousness floods back into your brain, you feel it. It isn't necessarily sadness, and it certainly isn't panic, not yet. It is a weight, a subtle, invisible heaviness that settles right in the center of your chest. You reach for your phone. It's a reflex, almost like you're looking for a distraction from your own waking mind. You scroll. You see polished homes, perfect morning routines, and women who seem to vibrate with an energy you haven't felt in years. You check your email. The to-do list begins to construct itself behind your eyes. The deadlines, the groceries, the emotional management of your family or partner, the pressure to be everything to everyone. By the time your feet hit the floor, you are already behind. You are already in a deficit. On paper, your life looks good. If you described your life to a stranger, your job, your home, your relationships, they would say you are lucky. They would say you have everything. And this is where the guilt creeps in. You ask yourself, why aren't I happier? Why do I feel this low level hum of anxiety? What is wrong with me? I want you to take a deep breath right now, because I need to tell you something important. You are not broken. You are not ungrateful. And you are certainly not alone. What you are experiencing is a modern epidemic called high functioning unhappiness. It is the state of performing perfectly on the outside while feeling completely hollow on the inside. We have been taught that happiness is a math equation, that if we add up enough achievements, comfort, and stability, the result should equal joy. But you have done the math, you have checked the boxes, and the result is still empty. The reason you feel this way isn't because you aren't doing enough. It's because the operating system you are using to process your life is glitching. But today we are going to fix it. I'll be happy when trap. To understand why this persists, we have to look at the trap almost every driven, intelligent woman falls into. It is the I'll be happy when trap. Think back to 5 years ago. Think about the things you desperately wanted back then. Maybe you wanted the salary you have now. Maybe you wanted the partner you are sleeping next to. Maybe you wanted to lose weight or move into this apartment. Back then, you convinced yourself that once you achieved those things, the anxiety would vanish and you would arrive at a permanent state of peace. But you got there, and for a moment, maybe a day, maybe a week, you felt high. But then almost like magic, your brain reset. The extraordinary became ordinary. The salary became just money. The partner became just my husband. The apartment became just the place where you have to clean the floors. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It is your brain's evolutionary mechanism to return you to a baseline level of happiness, no matter how good or bad your external circumstances become. Your brain is wired to normalize your success so that you will keep striving for the next survival goal. It is a biological trick designed to keep you moving, hunting, and gathering. But here is the tragedy. If you do not learn how to interrupt this cycle, you will spend the rest of your life chasing a horizon that moves every time you step toward it. You will spend your entire life waiting to start living. You will convince yourself that happiness is hiding in the next promotion, the next vacation, or the next dress size, and you will miss the only life you actually have, this one. The one happening right now. We have to break the logic that says joy is a reward for future performance. We have to stop treating happiness like a destination we earn and start treating it like a skill we practice. Because if you cannot be happy here in the mess and the imperfection of today, you will not be happy there either. The secret you've been missing. So if achieving goals doesn't create lasting happiness, what does? You have probably heard the word gratitude thrown around 1,000 times. You see it on coffee mugs, on Instagram captions, and in self-help books. Maybe you've even tried it. You sat down with a pen. You wrote, I am grateful for my coffee. I am grateful for the sun. I am grateful for my health. And then you felt absolutely nothing. You wrote the words, but the anxiety in your chest didn't move. The heaviness didn't lift. It felt like a chore, like homework for your soul. So you stopped doing it and you decided that gratitude doesn't work for you. Here is the secret. You weren't doing gratitude. You were doing data entry. Writing a list of things you appreciate is an intellectual exercise. It uses the logic center of your brain. But happiness is not logical. It is biological. It is chemical. True gratitude, the kind that rewires your nervous system and dissolves anxiety, is not a thought. It is a physical sensation. It is a somatic experience. The practice I am going to teach you today is not about writing lists. It isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It is a specific neuroscience-backed technique that forces your brain to switch gears from survival mode to receivership mode. It is about bridging the gap between your mind and your body so that you don't just think you are lucky, you feel it in your blood. This is the missing link. This is the difference between reading a menu and actually tasting the food. If you commit to what I am about to share with you, you are less than 24 hours away from a completely different chemical baseline. You are about to uncover a power you didn't know you had. Let's begin. The neuroscience of why you focus on the bad, your brain is Velcro for negativity. Before we can install a new operating system for happiness, we have to understand the old hardware we are working with. A lot of women carry a heavy burden of shame. You might look at your life and think, I have a roof over my head, I have food, I have people who love me. So why does my brain naturally drift toward what's wrong? Why do I obsess over one negative comment and ignore 10 compliments? Why am I like this? I want you to release that shame right now. You are not ungrateful and you are not broken. You are biologically human. Neuroscientists have a name for this phenomenon. The negativity bias, it is a fundamental design feature of the human brain, and for millions of years, it kept your ancestors alive. Imagine a woman living in a tribe 10,000 years ago. If she missed a beautiful sunset or ignored a patch of pretty flowers, nothing bad happened to her. She just missed a nice moment. But if she missed the sound of a twig snapping in the bushes, the sound of a predator, she died. Your brain evolved with a very specific mandate: survival. It did not evolve for happiness. It evolved for safety. Dr. Rick Hansen, a neuropsychologist, famously said that the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. Bad news sticks instantly because your brain tags it as a threat to your survival. Good news slides right off because biologically speaking, joy is not useful for keeping you alive in a dangerous world. So you have a brain that is acting like a bodyguard, not a cheerleader. It is constantly scanning the horizon for the next threat, the next problem, the next social rejection. In the ancient world, this was perfect. In the modern world, however, this mechanism is a disaster. The threats you face today aren't tigers or starvation. They are emails, awkward conversations, traffic jams, and dirty laundry. But your brain treats them with the same chemical urgency as a life or death situation. You are living in a modern world with ancient hardware. Your unhappiness is not a character flaw. It is a glitch in your evolution. But now that you know your brain is biased toward the negative by default, you can stop blaming yourself and start learning how to manually override the system. The reticular activating system, now that we know why the brain leans negative, we need to understand how it filters your reality. This brings us to a tiny finger-sized bundle of nerves at the base of your brainstem called the reticular activating system, or the RAS. This is the most important part of your brain that you have probably never heard of. Think of the RAS as the bouncer at the club of your conscious mind. At any given second, your senses are bombarded with roughly 2 million bits of information. You hear the hum of the fridge, you feel the fabric of your clothes, you see the light pattern on the wall, you smell the coffee. If your brain let all of that information in at once, you would short circuit, you would go insane. So the RAS has a job: filter out 99.9% of the data and only let in what is important. But here's the catch: you tell the RAS what is important by what you focus on. You have experienced this before. Have you ever decided to buy a specific car, let's say a white Jeep, and suddenly you see white Jeeps everywhere? They are in every parking lot, at every stoplight. Did the factory suddenly produce more white Jeeps yesterday?
No.
They were always there, but before, your RAS filtered them out as irrelevant noise. Now that you've focused on one, your RAS tagged it as important and started letting the image through to your conscious mind. This is exactly what is happening with your happiness. If you wake up and your internal monologue says, I'm so tired, today is going to be stressful, I have so much to do, you have just given your RAS a command. You have said it: oh, stress is important, fatigue is important, annoyance is important. Throughout the day, your RAS will obediently scan your environment for evidence to support that belief. It will highlight the rude cashier, the traffic, the stain on your shirt. It will literally hide the smiling stranger, the beautiful weather, and the green lights from your conscious awareness. You are deleting the good from your life without even realizing it. You aren't seeing reality. You are seeing a curated feed based on your internal filter. To change your life, we don't need to change the world outside. We just need to reprogram the search engine inside. The cortisol addiction, there is one final biological hurdle we have to address, and this one is the most uncomfortable to admit. Sometimes we stay unhappy because on a chemical level, we are addicted to it. Every emotion you feel releases a specific peptide, a chemical signature, into your bloodstream. Stress releases cortisol and epinephrine. Joy releases dopamine and serotonin. If you have spent years or even decades in a state of high stress, rushing, and anxiety, your cells have actually developed more receptors for cortisol. Your body has acclimated to a specific chemical cocktail of stress. It has become your baseline. It has become your normal. This creates a terrifying paradox. Peace feels unsafe. Have you ever had a Saturday where everything was calm? The house was clean, the kids were quiet, work was done. And instead of relaxing, you felt a creeping sense of unease. You found yourself picking a fight with your partner, or looking for a problem to solve, or scrolling the news until you found something to be angry about. That was your body going through withdrawal. Your cells were starving for their usual hit of cortisol, so your subconscious mind manufactured a crisis to get the chemicals it craves. You self-sabotaged your own happiness because happiness felt boring or unfamiliar to your nervous system. We are not just fighting a mindset here. We are breaking a chemical addiction. We are teaching your body that it is safe to be calm. We are detoxing you from the hormones of survival. This is why just thinking positive never worked for you before. You cannot fight a chemical addiction with a thought. You have to fight it with a new chemical experience. And that is exactly what the somatic gratitude practice is designed to do. Redefining gratitude, it's not what you think why your current list isn't working. If you are watching this, there is a high probability that you have a journal somewhere in your house. Maybe it's on your nightstand gathering dust. Maybe it's buried in a drawer. You bought it with the best intentions. You were told that successful, happy people write down 3 things they are grateful for every morning. So you tried it, you sat down and wrote 1, my family, 2, my job, 3, my coffee. And then you closed the book, stood up, and immediately felt the exact same stress, the exact same overwhelm, and the exact same emptiness you felt before you picked up the pen. Eventually, the practice started to feel like a chore. It felt like writing a grocery list, or worse, it felt like lying to yourself. You were writing down words that should make you feel good, but they weren't penetrating the armor of your anxiety. This is what I call intellectual gratitude, and it is the reason most people fail at this practice. When you write a list just to get it done, you are operating entirely from your prefrontal cortex, the logical, analytical part of brain. You are engaging in data entry. You are cataloging your assets. But here is the problem. Your nervous system does not speak English. It does not speak in language. It speaks in sensation, in chemistry, and in emotion writing. I am grateful for my house is a fact, but facts do not change your biochemistry. If you are thinking I am grateful, but your body is tight, your jaw is clenched, and your stomach is in knots, your brain will always believe your body over your thoughts. You are sending a mixed signal. You are trying to convince yourself logically that you are safe and abundant while physically inhabiting a state of danger and scarcity. The list isn't working because you are treating gratitude as an obligation, something you do to be a good person, rather than a physiological state you enter to heal your body. We need to stop writing and start feeling. We need to move the practice from your head down into your chest. The bridge between heart and brain. To fix this, we have to redefine what gratitude actually is. We have been taught since kindergarten that gratitude is a social transaction. Someone gives you a cookie and you say, thank you. It is politeness. On a deep psychological and energetic level, gratitude is not a politeness. It is a specific frequency of receivership. Think of a radio. If you want to hear a specific station, let's call it the happiness station, you have to turn the dial to 98.5. If your dial is stuck on 104.0, the stress station, it doesn't matter how much you say you want to hear the music. It doesn't matter if you write I love music 1,000 times in a journal. Until you turn the dial, you will only hear static. Gratitude is the act of turning the dial. It is the bridge that aligns your heart and your brain. When you are in a state of true somatic gratitude, you are vibrating at the frequency of it has already happened. I have received it. I am full. This is why it is the antidote to anxiety. Anxiety is the vibration of, or I might lose it. Anxiety is future-based fear. Gratitude is present moment fullness. You physically cannot be in a state of deep gratitude and deep anxiety at the exact same time. The brain circuitry doesn't allow it. They are opposing signals. So our goal is not to force you to think positive thoughts. Our goal is to create heart-brain coherence. This is a real measurable state where the rhythm of your heart and the waves of your brain synchronize. When you achieve this, even for a few seconds, your body stops producing cortisol, the stress hormone, and starts producing DHEA, the vitality hormone. This isn't magic, it is biology. You are moving from a state of surviving to a state of thriving by manually adjusting your internal receiver. The micro moment concept now, I can hear the objection forming in your mind. This sounds great, but I don't have time. I'm a mom. I work full time. I'm exhausted. I can't sit on a meditation cushion for 20 minutes a day trying to align my heart and brain. Good. Because I don't want you to do that. One of the biggest myths about happiness is that it requires massive amounts of time. We think we need a week-long vacation, a spa day, or a majestic hour of silence to reset. But the research shows that the brain doesn't learn from duration. It learns from intensity and frequency. You don't need a gallon of water to wake you up. You need a shot of espresso. You need potency. I am introducing you to the concept of the micro moment, or what some psychologists call micro dosing joy. We are not looking for a 30-minute session. We are looking for 20 to 30 seconds of absolute immersion. If you can pause for just 30 seconds and achieve that state of heart-brain coherence we just talked about, you interrupt the stress pattern for the entire day. Think of it like a reset button on a glitching computer. You don't need to leave the computer off for 3 days to fix it. You just need to restart it once. This makes the practice accessible to everyone, no matter how chaotic your life is. You can do this in the carpool line. You can do this while waiting for the coffee to brew. You can do this while in the bathroom hiding from your toddlers. We are going to stop trying to find more time and start utilizing the hidden pockets of time you already have. We are going to take tiny, mundane moments and turn them into gold. And we are going to do it using the specific technique I am about to teach you next. The core practice, somatic gratitude, immersion, step 1T, the pause and the scan. We have cleared the intellectual clutter. We understand neuroscience. Now we move into the actual work. This is the practice that will separate this video from everything else you have ever watched on this topic. I want you to treat this as an experiment. For the next few minutes, forget everything you think you know about gratitude. The first step is seemingly simple, but in our modern world, it is the hardest thing to do. Step 1 is the pause and the scan. Most of us live our lives on autopilot. We are physically in one place, but our minds are 3 hours in the future, worrying about dinner, the meeting, or the traffic. To rewire the brain, we first have to park the car. We have to stop the momentum. Here is how you do it at any point in your day. Let's say you are sitting at your desk or standing in your kitchen. I want you to physically stop moving, freeze your body, drop your shoulders away from your ears, unclench your jaw, and take one deep breath that expands your belly, not your chest. Now with your eyes open, I want you to scan your immediate environment. Do not look for something profound. Do not look for something life-changing. If you look for something big, your brain will judge it. Oh, I should be grateful for my husband, but he annoyed me this morning. I should be grateful for my job, but I'm stressed. That brings the baggage back in. Instead, I want you to look for something aggressively simple. Something so small that it carries zero emotional baggage. Look for the way the sunlight is hitting the floorboards. Look for the steam rising off your tea. Look for the softness of the blanket next to you. Look for the vibrant green color of a houseplant. Your goal is to find just one single object or sensation that is right in front of you. It needs to be something tangible, something real, something that exists in the now. Once your eyes lock onto that object, do not look away. You have found your target. This is the anchor we are going to use to pull your entire nervous system out of fight or flight and into the present moment. Step 2A, sensory zooming, the technique. Now that you have your target, let's say it is that warm cup of coffee in your hands, we move to step 2. This is the core secret sensory zooming. Most people look at the coffee, think that's nice, and move on. That is not enough. That is surface level processing. We need to go deep. I want you to imagine you are a camera lens and you are zooming in until the rest of the world blurs out. You are going to use every available sense to investigate this one tiny slice of reality. We are going to spend 20 seconds here. First, vision. Don't just see a cup. Look at the texture. Is the ceramic smooth or rough? Look at the liquid. Is it black? Is it caramel colored? Watch the steam. See how it swirls and disappears into the air. Notice the tiny bubbles on the surface. Force your brain to process the high definition details it usually ignores. Next, touch. How does the weight of the mug feel in your hand? Is it heavy? Is it grounding? Feel the warmth traveling from the ceramic into your palms. Feel that heat moving up your wrists. Focus entirely on that sensation of temperature transfer. Then smell. Inhale deeply. Don't just smell coffee. Try to find the notes. Is it nutty? Is it earthy? Is it sweet? Let that scent fill your nasal cavity and signal to your brain that you are safe. What we are doing here is flooding the reticular activating system, the RAS, with safe, pleasurable data. We are overwhelming your brain's fear center with sensory evidence that right now, in this second, everything is okay. When you hyper-focus on a sensory experience, your brain waves shift. You move from beta waves, high alert, stress, thinking, analyzing, into alpha waves, else calm, present, alert, relaxation. This is the state where healing happens. This is the state where you feel alive. It is impossible for the brain to worry about a future deadline while it is 100% occupied with the texture, smell, and warmth of a cup of coffee. You are forcing the brain to be here, and air is usually a very peaceful place to be. This is the difference between writing "I like coffee" in a journal and becoming one with the experience of the coffee. One is a thought, the other is a physiological event. You are teaching your body that joy isn't a concept, it's a physical sensation available to you anytime you choose to zoom in. Step 3A, the internal echo, we have the pause. We have the sensory zoom. Now we need to save the file. We need to print this experience onto your nervous system so it changes your baseline mood. This is step 3, the internal echo. After you have spent those 15 or 20 seconds hyper-focusing on your object, I want you to close your eyes, take the physical sensation you just generated, that warmth, that pleasant smell, that beauty, and imagine inhaling it into the center of your chest. Imagine moving the feeling from your hands or your eyes and pulling it deep into your heart space. Sit there for just 10 seconds and let the feeling echo. It's like striking a gong. After you hit the gong, the sound resonates and vibrates in the air for a while. You want to let this feeling vibrate in your body. You are savoring the aftertaste of the moment. While you hold this feeling, you say the words silently to yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You aren't thanking a specific person. You aren't thanking God necessarily, unless that resonates with you. You are simply vibrating the frequency of gratitude. You are sealing the deal. This step is crucial because this is the moment neuroplasticity occurs. According to Dr. Donald Hebb's famous rule in neuroscience, neurons that fire together wire together. By holding the emotion for those extra 10 seconds, you are gluing the memory to the feeling of safety. You are building a new neural pathway that says, I am safe. I am happy. I have enough. If you do this just 3 times a day, pause, zoom, echo, you are giving your nervous system 3 distinct safety signals that interrupt the stress loop. Over time, your body stops waiting for the other shoe to drop and starts waiting for the next moment of beauty. You have officially taken control of your own happiness. Advanced layers, emotional alchemization, finding gold in the gray. Now that you have mastered the basic technique with a cup of coffee or a sunrise, we are going to level up. It is easy to find gratitude in beautiful moments. It is easy to be grateful on vacation or when you get a promotion or when the house is perfectly clean. But most of life does not happen in the highlight reel. Most of life happens in the gray zone. The gray zone is the laundry pile. It is a traffic jam on a Tuesday. It is the waiting room at the dentist. It is the 3rd time you have washed the same dish today. This is where most women lose their happiness. They view these moments as dead time, obstacles they have to rush through to get to the good parts of life. But what if I told you that you could alchemize this boredom into peace? We are going to apply sensory zooming to your chores. Let's take folding laundry. Usually you do this while frustrated, rushing, thinking about the next task. Your body is tense. You are mentally absent. Next time, I want you to slow your hands down by 50%. Pick up a shirt. Instead of just folding it, feel it. Use the technique. Zoom in. Feel the texture of the cotton. Is it soft? Is it warm from the dryer? Smell the scent of the clean detergent. Look at the color. Shift your narrative from I have to do this to I have clothes to keep me warm. I have water to wash them. I have a home to house them. Suddenly, folding laundry isn't a chore. It is a ritual of abundance. You are caring for the fabric of your life. Take the traffic jam. Instead of gripping the steering wheel and cursing the red lights, look around. You are sitting in a climate-controlled machine that can move faster than a cheetah. You are safe. You have music. Look at the sky above the highway. Look at the other humans in their cars, all living their own complex lives. By applying sensory zooming to the mundane, you stop waiting for the weekend. Boring parts of life are actually filled with texture, safety, and privilege. You stop rushing through your life and start actually living it. You turn the gray zone into gold. The contrast trigger, if finding beauty in the mundane feels too difficult right now, we can use a sharper tool. This is a psychological technique used by the ancient Stoics, and it is incredibly powerful for snapping you out of a funk. It is called the contrast trigger or negative visualization. Sometimes we become numb to our blessings because they are always there. We stop seeing our partner. We just see the person who left their socks on the floor. We stop seeing our home. We just see the repairs it needs. To wake your brain up, you need a shock. You need contrast. Here is how to do it safely without spiraling into fear. I want you to look at something you are currently annoyed by. Let's say it's your messy living room full of toys or clutter. Now close your eyes. Imagine just for 10 seconds that it is all gone. Imagine walking into that living room and it is perfectly clean, but it is clean because it is empty. The toys are gone because the children are gone. The clutter is gone because life is gone. Imagine the silence of that empty room. Imagine the coldness of it. Sit with that hollowness for a moment. Feel the ache of that loss. Now open your eyes. Look at the mess again. What do you see? You don't see clutter anymore. You see evidence of life. You see a home that is lived in. You see abundance. The annoyance evaporates, and in its place, a wave of deep relief and gratitude washes over you. You can do this with anything. If you are annoyed by your partner's snoring, imagine the silence of the bed without them. If you are annoyed by your job, imagine the stress of unemployment. This technique works because value is determined by scarcity. When you trick your brain into thinking you have lost something, it suddenly realizes how valuable that thing is. You don't need to actually lose your blessings to appreciate them. You just need to mentally subtract them for 10 seconds. This contrast trigger resets your hedonic adaptation instantly. It turns your complaints into gratitude with the snap of a finger. Rewiring the past, we have covered the present moment, sensory zooming, and the alternative perspective contrast. Now let's talk about time travel. We are going to use this practice to heal your past and borrow happiness from your memories. Many of us use our past as a source of pain. We replay our mistakes, our embarrassments, and our losses. We traumatize ourselves daily, but the brain is a neutral projector. It will play whatever movie you put in. Why not play the greatest hits? Your brain does not know the difference between a vivid visualization and a current reality. If you close your eyes and vividly imagine biting into a lemon, your mouth will water. Your body reacts to the image as if it is happening now. We can use this to flood your body with serotonin. I want you to think of a core memory, a time when you felt completely safe, happy, or free. Maybe it was a childhood vacation at the beach. Maybe it was the day you held your baby for the first time. Maybe it was a perfect dinner with friends. Close your eyes and go back there. But don't just think about it like a history lesson. Somaticize it. Use the sensory zoom technique on the memory. What was the temperature of the air on your skin? What did the ocean smell like? What was the specific sound of your friend's laughter? How did the sun feel on your face? Zoom in on the sensory details. Make the colors brighter. Make the sounds louder. As you do this, you will physically feel your shoulders drop. You might feel a smile spread across your face. Your breathing will slow down. You are literally pulling the joy from the past and injecting it into your present day bloodstream. You are harvesting the happiness you already lived. This is not living in the past. This is using your past as a resource battery to power your present. You can visit your happiest moments whenever you need a recharge. They belong to you. They are safe harbors you can sail your mind into whenever the current waters get rough. By doing this, you remind your nervous system that joy is a part of your story, not just something you are chasing. Gratitude in the trenches, when life hurts, acknowledging the pain, no toxic positivity. We need to pause here for a very serious conversation. Everything we have discussed so far, the coffee, the laundry, the pleasant memories, might sound lovely if you are having a normal week. But some of you watching this are not having a normal week. Some of you are walking through the darkest season of your life. You might be navigating a divorce, grieving the loss of a loved one, facing a terrifying health diagnosis, or staring at a bank account that is dangerously empty. To you, hearing "be grateful for the steam on your tea" might feel insulting. It might feel like I am asking you to slap a smiley face sticker over a gaping wound. I want to be crystal clear, that is not what we are doing. There is a dangerous trend in the self-help world called toxic positivity, is the belief that you should ignore negative emotions, suppress your pain, and force yourself to be happy no matter what. That is not healing, that is dissociation. That is gaslighting yourself. Real somatic gratitude is not about denial. It is not about pretending the pain isn't there. It is about the capacity to hold two opposing truths at the exact same time. This is the power of A&D. You can be heartbroken and grateful for the friend who called to check on you. You can be terrified about money and grateful that you have food in the fridge for tonight. You can be grieving a death and grateful for the sunshine hitting your face. The pain does not cancel out the beauty, and the beauty does not invalidate the pain. They coexist. When you are in the trenches, gratitude is not a magic wand that makes the bad stuff disappear. It is an oxygen mask. It is the thing that keeps you breathing while you navigate the smoke. Do not try to force yourself to feel joy about your suffering. You don't have to love the trauma. You don't have to be thankful for the tragedy. We are simply looking for the tiny islands of safety within the storm. We are looking for just enough light to see the next step. The ladder technique, if you are currently in a state of deep depression or high anxiety, trying to jump straight to joy or ecstasy is impossible. It is like trying to jump from the basement to the roof in one leap. You will just fall and hurt yourself. Your nervous system cannot bridge that gap. So when life hurts, we don't aim for the top of the mountain. We just try to get off the floor. We use the ladder technique. Think of your emotions as a ladder. At the very bottom is despair and grief. At the very top is bliss. If you are at the bottom, your goal is not bliss. Your goal is simply relief. Your goal is neutrality. When you are in the trenches, your gratitude practice changes. It becomes primal. You stop looking for beautiful things and start acknowledging foundational things. I am grateful that gravity is holding me down so I don't have to hold myself. I am grateful that my lungs are breathing automatically. I am grateful that the floor is solid. I am grateful that this moment is temporary. These statements might seem bleak to an outsider, but to a suffering mind, they are lifelines. They are grounded facts. They remind your brain that even though your emotional world is crumbling, the physical world is holding you. Use the ladder to climb one rung at a time. Can you move from despair to anger? Yes, that is progress. Can you move from anger to frustration? That is progress. Can you move from frustration to neutrality? That is a victory. Don't judge yourself for not being happy. Just use the sensory zoom technique to find one thing that feels slightly less bad than everything else. Maybe the blanket feels safe. Focus on the blanket. Maybe the silence feels restful. Focus on the silence. That tiny shift toward relief is the beginning of your way out. You are building the strength to climb. The struggle as the teacher, there is an advanced level of gratitude that we only unlock during our hardest times. This is the shift from asking, why is this happening to me? To ask, what is this building in me? This is not about excusing the bad things that happen. It is not about saying the tragedy was good. It is about reclaiming your power from the tragedy. It is about looking at the fire you are walking through and deciding that you will walk out of it carrying something valuable. When we look back at our lives, we rarely say, I grew so much during that week I sat on the beach drinking margaritas. No, we say, I grew when I lost my job and had to reinvent myself. I grew when my heart broke and I learned how to love myself. The struggle is often the forge where our character is built. In the midst of your pain, see if you can find a tiny sliver of gratitude for your own resilience. Look in the mirror and say, I am grateful that I am still standing. I am grateful for the strength I didn't know I had. I am grateful this pain is carving out a deeper capacity for empathy in my heart. When you thank the struggle for the lesson it is teaching you, you stop being the victim and you become the student. You stop being the casualty and you become the survivor. This doesn't make the pain hurt less, but it gives the pain purpose. And the human brain can endure almost anything if it believes there is a purpose to it. By finding gratitude for your own survival instinct, you flip the power dynamic. The situation no longer owns you. You own your response to it. You are alchemizing the lead of your suffering into the gold of wisdom. And one day you will look back at this version of yourself and be so incredibly proud of how you made it through. Relationship transformation, the silent praise, the expectation killer. We are moving now into the area of life that usually causes the most stress and the most heartache, our relationships. Whether it is a husband, a partner, a child, or a parent, the people we love the most are often the ones we appreciate the least. Why does this happen? It isn't because we stop loving them. It is because of one silent, destructive force expectation. In the beginning of a relationship, everything is a gift. If he brings you flowers, you are thrilled. If he takes out the trash, you say thank you. But over time, the gift becomes a duty. You stop seeing the act. You only see the expectation of the act. When he takes out the trash, you don't feel gratitude. You feel nothing because supposed to do that. But when he forgets to take out the trash, you feel rage. This is the math of resentment. You have created a system where your partner can only lose. When they do good, it's invisible. When they mess up, it's a catastrophe. This dynamic poisons the air in your home. You become a scorekeeper. You walk around with a mental checklist of everything you are doing versus everything they are not doing. You feel unseen, overworked, and undervalued. And here is the hard truth: they probably feel the exact same way. To fix this, we have to kill the expectation. We have to reset the baseline. I want you to try a radical mental shift. For the next hour, I want you to look at your partner or your child as if they are a stranger you have just met. If a stranger came into your house and washed a single dish for you, how would you feel? You would be shocked. You would be overwhelmed with gratitude. If a stranger offered to drive your kids to school, you would tear up. The acts haven't changed. The person hasn't changed. The only thing that changed was your entitlement to their labor. When you drop the entitlement, when you realize that nobody owes you anything, not even your husband, every small act of service becomes a gift again. You stop looking for what is missing and you start seeing what is present. This doesn't mean you accept bad behavior. It means you stop letting your expectations blind you to the love that is actually being offered. The silent praise experiment. Now we're going to play a game. This is a secret experiment that I want you to run in your household for the next 24 hours. You are not going to tell anyone you are doing it. In fact, it works better if they don't know. This is called the silent praise experiment. Here are the rules for the next 24 hours. You are going to aggressively hunt for things your partner or children are doing right. And every time you see one, no matter how small, you are going to internally shout a thank you in your head. If he puts his shoes away, thank you for respecting our space. If your child plays quietly for 10 minutes, thank you for this piece. If he works late to provide for the family. But here is the catch: you must actively ignore the things they do wrong. Just for 24 hours. If the socks are on the floor, step over them. If the comment is annoying, let it slide. You are retraining your reticular activating system, the RAS, to scan your family for value instead of deficits. Usually we stare at our partners through a lens of criticism. We are constantly fixing, correcting, and managing them. When you switch to silent praise, you change the energetic frequency of the room. You are projecting appreciation. You are looking at them with soft eyes. You might think, why should I thank him silently? He needs to know he messed up. But watch what happens when you stop nitpicking and start vibrating with silent appreciation. People feel it. They feel safe around you. They feel accepted. And when human beings feel accepted, naturally want to do more of what makes you happy. You will be shocked to find that by simply changing your internal monologue, their external behavior begins to shift. You aren't nagging them into being better. You are loving them into being better. You are watering the flowers instead of screaming at the weeds. This experiment is often the spark that saves marriages that have been cold for years. The mirror neuron effect. There is a biological reason why the silent praise experiment works like magic. It comes down to a special class of brain cells called mirror neurons. Humans are herd animals. We are biologically wired to mimic the emotional state of the people around us. If you walk into a room where everyone is tense and angry, your blood pressure will rise within seconds. You catch the mood like a flu. For a long time, you have probably been the thermometer of your house. You reflect the temperature. If the kids are crazy, you get crazy. If your husband is stressed, you get stressed. But gratitude allows you to become the thermostat. You set the temperature. When you are practicing somatic gratitude, when you are calm, anchored, and focusing on the good, you are broadcasting a signal of safety. When you look at your partner with appreciation instead of resentment, their mirror neurons pick up on that safety. Their nervous system begins to down-regulate to match yours. They might not know why they feel calmer around you today. They might not know why they suddenly want to help with the dishes, but they are responding to your frequency. This is the ultimate power of a woman in the home. You are the emotional anchor. When you heal your own nervous system, you heal the household. You don't need to have a long, heavy conversation about fixing the relationship. You just need to change the signal you are broadcasting. When you change, the whole system changes with you. You are the leader. The magnetism of gratitude, attraction, the physics of Mora. We have talked about biology, we have talked about psychology, and we have talked about relationships. Now, I want to talk about physics, or if you prefer, the mechanics of how life comes to you. There is a fundamental rule in the way reality operates. Whether you look at it through a spiritual lens or a purely practical one, you cannot receive more of what you are complaining about. Think about it. If you have a friend who constantly complains about her job, she hates the boss, she hates the commute, she hates the desk, and you hear of a job opening at your company, are you going to recommend her? Probably not. Why? Because her energy is repellent. You instinctively know that if she brings that attitude to a new place, she will eventually find a reason to hate that too. Her complaint is blocking her promotion. The same is true for the universe or God, or simply the opportunities around you. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a signal. It is a broadcast frequency that says, I am ready. I am capable of handling this. I am a good steward of what I already have. When you practice somatic gratitude, you are sending a clear message that you are in a state of receivership. You are telling the world that you enjoy your life, and naturally life tends to give more to those who enjoy it. Think of gratitude as the receipt you sign before the package arrives. When you are grateful for the small amount of money in your bank account, you are signaling that you respect money. You are signaling that you are not in a panic. This invites more. When you are grateful for the dates you go on, even the bad ones, you signal that you are open to love. If you are constantly vibrating with, I hate this, or this isn't enough, you are keeping your fists closed, you are tight, you are defensive, and you cannot catch a ball with a closed fist. You have to open your hands. Gratitude is the act of opening your hands. It is the physics of making space for more to enter. Scarcity viz. Abundance mindset. Let's go deeper into why this works on a neurological level. It comes down to two opposing mental states, scarcity and abundance. Most of us live in scarcity mode. This is the voice in your head that says, there isn't enough time, there isn't enough money, all the good men are taken. When you are in scarcity mode, your brain activates the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. When you are in fight or flight, your vision literally narrows. It is called tunnel vision. Your brain focuses entirely on the immediate threat, the bill, the loneliness, and blocks out everything else. This means you could be walking right past the solution to your problem, but you physically cannot see it because your brain is wearing blinders. You are so focused on the lack that you miss the opportunity. Gratitude is the switch that flips you into abundance mode. When you stop and do a sensory zoom on your coffee or your warm bed, you are proving to your brain, look, we have resources, we are safe, we have enough. This relaxes the nervous system. The tunnel vision widens. Suddenly you see the email you missed. You notice the stranger smiling at you. You have a creative idea for your business that you couldn't access when you were stressed. The abundance wasn't magic. It was there the whole time. You just needed to take off the blinders of fear to see it. When you shift from I need to I have, you become resourceful. A woman acting from a place of I have is confident. She is calm. She makes better decisions. She doesn't cling to bad relationships because she knows she is already full. She doesn't panic buy or panic sell. By practicing gratitude, you are essentially telling your brain to stop hunting for danger and start hunting for opportunity. And because the reticular activating system finds what it looks for, you will start finding opportunities everywhere. You aren't creating them out of thin air. You are simply finally calm enough to see them, becoming the lucky girl. There is a trend that took over the internet recently called lucky girl syndrome. It's the idea that if you simply believe everything works out for you, it does. While it sounds like a silly trend, it is actually deeply rooted in social psychology. We are naturally attracted to people who feel lucky. We are drawn to people who seem light, grateful, and at ease. Think about the most charismatic person you know. Do they complain constantly? Do they talk about how hard their life is? No, they probably make you feel good just by being around them. They radiate a sense that life is good. When you practice somatic gratitude, you become that person. You become magnetic. This is the charisma of gratitude. When you stop needing the world to validate you and you start validating yourself through gratitude, you become incredibly attractive to friends, to partners, and to employers. People want to be around the light. They want to help the person who is already smiling. Have you ever noticed that lucky people seem to get all the breaks? It's because their energy invites collaboration. If you are bitter and closed off, people avoid you. They don't offer you the job. They don't introduce you to their friend. But if you are open, grateful, and radiating abundance, people go out of their way to help you. You can literally luck your way into a better life simply by changing your broadcast frequency. When you walk into a room thinking, I am so grateful to be here, versus I hope they like me, the difference is palpable. You hold your head higher. You smile more. And the world reflects that smile back to you. You aren't just feeling better, you are becoming a magnet for the very things you used to chase. The 24-hour protocols, your new routine morning. The first 5 minutes, we have covered a lot of theory today, but theory doesn't change lives, habits do. So I am going to give you a specific non-negotiable protocol to follow for the next 7 days. This is how you take everything we've learned and weave it into the fabric of your reality. It starts the moment you wake up. Tomorrow morning, you are going to break the most toxic habit you have. Do not touch your phone. Do not check the news. Do not check your texts. The moment you look at a screen, you are surrendering your brain to the world's agenda. Instead, while you are still lying in the warmth of your bed, I want you to do 1 round of somatic zooming. Keep your eyes closed or soft. Feel the weight of the duvet on your legs. Feel the pillow supporting your head. Zoom in on that sensation of comfort. Say to yourself, I am safe. I am warm. I am waking up in bed. Stay in that sensation for just 60 seconds. You are setting the GPS for your reticular activating system. You are telling your brain, today we are looking for safety. Today we are looking for comfort. By the time your feet hit the floor, you will have already won the morning. The pattern interrupt. The morning is easy. But the afternoon is where the battle is lost. Around 300 p.m., your energy drops. The stress of the day has accumulated. The emails are piling up. This is the drift zone where you slip back into autopilot anxiety. You need a pattern interrupt. I want you to set a recurring alarm on your phone for 200 p.m. Label it. Zoom in. When that alarm goes off, no matter where you are or what you are doing, you must stop for 60 seconds. If you are at your desk, stare at your coffee mug. If you are in the car, look at the sky. If you're in a meeting, focus on the feeling of your feet on the floor. Do the pause, zoom, echo technique. This tiny break acts like a pressure valve. It releases the cortisol that has been building up in your bloodstream since breakfast. Instead of letting the stress compound until you crash at 500 p.m., you reset the baseline. You reclaim your nervous system. You remind yourself that the chaos is happening around you, but peace is happening inside you. Evening the harvest, finally, we have the most important part of the protocol, the end. How you end your day determines how you sleep, and how you sleep determines who you are tomorrow. Most of us lie in bed replaying our mistakes. We worry about to-do list. We marinate in anxiety. Tonight, I want you to try the harvest. As you close your eyes, I want you to scan back through the last 16 hours and harvest the 3 best micro moments. Don't look for big wins. Look for the glimmers. The way the sun hit the dashboard, the first sip of coffee, the laugh you shared with a coworker. Replay these 3 moments in your mind like a movie highlight reel. Visualize them clearly. Feel the gratitude wash over you one last time. This sends a powerful instruction to your subconscious mind right before you drift off. This was a good day. I am safe. You will sleep deeper. You will dream better. And you will wake up tomorrow morning with a brain that is already wired to find the light. This is how you build a happy life, one day at a time. Guided experience, the choice is yours. We have reached the end of our time together. But for you, this is actually the beginning. We have talked about the neuroscience of the negative filter. We have talked about the addiction to stress. And you have learned the somatic zoom technique. You now hold the keys to the kingdom. But I have to be honest with you. The keys do not open the door by themselves. You have to turn them. Happiness is not a destination you arrive at once you solve all your problems. Happiness is a muscle. And just like any muscle, it will atrophy if you do not use it. Today, I have given you gym equipment. I have shown you the exercises, but I cannot lift the weights for you. Every single time you feel that wave of anxiety rising in your chest, you have a choice to make. You can choose the old path, the path of spiraling, worrying, and numbing out. Or you can choose the new path. You can pause, you can zoom in, you can reclaim your nervous system. It will be hard at first. Your brain will want to resist. It will want to go back to the familiar addiction of stress. But every time you interrupt that pattern, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. You are literally rewiring your biology. Final interactive trigger. Now I have one final request. This is your first step of accountability. I don't want you to just close this video and go back to your day as if nothing happened. I want you to make this real. I want you to scroll down to the comments section right now and type one thing you are going to zoom in on today. Maybe it is your morning coffee. Maybe it is the sound of rain. Maybe it is the smile of your child. Write it down. Today, I am zooming in on when you write it, you make a contract with yourself. You tell your reticular activating system, this matters. I read every single comment and I cannot wait to see the beautiful, simple things that make up your life. If this video helped you find a moment of peace today, please like it so it can reach other women who need to hear this message. And make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss our next deep dive into the psychology of a better life. Remember, you do not need to wait for everything to be perfect to be happy. You have everything you need right here. You are safe, you are worthy, and you are rich in this moment. Now, go live it.